Hello, it's Allie again, your Promethean education consultant, and it's time for my thoughts on Thursday. Today, I thought, see what I did there, that I would share how to bring in a PowerPoint. I've had some questions on this lately, and so why not do a video on it for Thursday Thoughts? So I'm going to go to my resources tab from my ClassFlow landing page. When I come to my resources tab, I click new and I scroll down to file upload. In my file upload, I want to find what PowerPoint I'm going to bring in. And I actually saved mine on my desktop so I would be able to find it. So on my desktop, I navigate to the PowerPoint that I wish to upload, which is this skip counting by tens. And I click and I select open. Then I will get this convert lesson. The following files can be converted to ClassFlow lesson. Please select the files you'd like to import. And of course, that is the skip counting one. So I'm going to click continue. Then it uploads, and it might take a while depending on the size of the file. But then you saw my screen flash and it's uploaded. So I have two here. I have the skip counting by tens in the PowerPoint form with the P, and I have the skip counting by tens as a lesson, as a ClassFlow lesson. I know that because it's the green icon there. So you'll notice when I choose the PowerPoint lesson and I deliver that, it's only my opening slide. That's it. So what I do is I go ahead and delete that lesson because it's really no good to me. So I click on it. I go over to my more options cogwheel and I just choose delete. I choose delete again, and now that's gone, so I won't forget. So when I go to my skip counting ClassFlow lesson, I choose edit lesson. Now you'll notice that this comes up almost perfectly. How it's come up is as a bunch of images. And so those images can be moved around on my card. As always, I'm going to check my card size because here I have standard size. I want to save it though as a widescreen because that's my preferred for the devices. Either widescreen 16:9 ratio or 16:10 ratio. And then I choose apply and you can see. Now when I go to deliver that lesson, you can see down at the bottom that I can skip count, or I can skip, not skip, obviously I can skip count, that's what the lesson's about, but I can go through my slides just like I would. Now here you'll notice these are smaller. So I'm going to exit that. I don't want to save it. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to see where those slides are. Since they are saved as images, I'm simply going to make them all larger. So that they fit my card. Now, if I'm going to have the students interact with these, I might also choose to go under my cogwheel and anchor all so that the kiddos can't move them around. Because if I go to send these as if I want the kids to send me answers to show what they did, and I want to send it as a poll, they're going to be able to move these cards around. So I'm just going to go on each card and I'm just going to anchor my image. Just choose the anchor all there from the cog, and then they won't be able to be moved around when I send them to my students, because this would be a great activity for me to be able to send to my students during my class time, so that I could actually get some answers from them in my formative assessment. So I could just, if I anchor all of these, then my students won't be able to move them around or accidentally delete them from the card. So if I wanted to quickly anchor, I can, instead of clicking it and going to the cog wheel on each one of the cards, on the card I click and you can see my white cog wheel comes up. I can actually choose there and choose anchor all components. When I click on that and choose anchor all components, then all of the cards, all the components on that card get anchored and can't be moved around. So I'm just going to go here and anchor all my components on each card so that they can't accidentally, of course, get moved around by the students when I deliver. So, okay, so all of my cards are now anchored. So I'm going to go to preview and I'm going to look at that, and you can see that my PowerPoint has come through very nicely. And so to use this is actually, it's a very simple PowerPoint. It would be very simple for me to get some good formative assessment from my students. So I'm going to go ahead and deliver this. So then I come to a card and say I want my students to answer this for me. So I could send it very easily as a number poll. And so here's my teacher screen. Here it comes up on my students. And so they would be very easily able to type in and submit. And then on my teacher screen, of course, it comes through. I can show names to see who's answered that question. Another way I could deliver these is I could deliver them. So I get to these harder problems. I could very easily deliver that as a creative poll. And so in the creative poll, my students would be able to write an answer in, or they could type an answer and put that in there, and then go ahead and submit that to me. And I'd be able to stop that poll and look at the answers here that have been sent to me on each one of the student cards. So that's one way that I import the PowerPoints. Another way that that can be done, and I'm going to exit, and of course I'm going to want to save this as a new lesson if I'm delivering it to the class, so that I'm able to see the responses for each class. So I'm going to go ahead and save that as a new lesson. And then where does that go? Well, I'm going to exit my builder, which brings me back to my resources. That's this first lesson here. I'm going to go in and edit that lesson. And then the first thing I'm going to do when I go in to edit that lesson, and you hear me say this all the time if you take a class from me, change the name so that I don't have two that are named exactly the same. So I'm going to go ahead and go do that, and I'm going to put today's date in there so that I know, I might put a class period in there. I might put class if I have different class names that I'm going to be delivering the same lesson. But for today, I'm just going to put in today's date. And then remember, I can come down here and I can click on, here's where my poll was. I know that because it's got the little pink graph on it. I can click it and I can view my poll results. So I can come back to it show my names. I can come back to it later. I can add, award Allison getting this right with a badge, or if she got it wrong, I can easily double back with her for some reason. And so the other way that I upload PowerPoints is I'm going to choose that PowerPoint again, and this time I'm actually going to open it in PowerPoint. And so I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to find that skip counting by tens, and I'm going to open it this time in my PowerPoint. And so I'm going to make sure I have everything the way I want it in my PowerPoint. And then I can save that PowerPoint as a PDF. So I can go ahead and save that PowerPoint as a PDF. And this helps me by allowing me to save everything exactly as it is. And so I'm going to save everything here on my desktop. This time it's going to save as a PDF file. So if I have a lot of moving pictures or things and I'm afraid they'll get moved when I migrate it, I'll go ahead and save it as a PDF first, because sometimes that comes through and things are moved. So now it's going to open up in my Adobe Acrobat Reader, and everything's saved as an Adobe file. So I'll go back to my resources in ClassFlow. I'll choose New, Upload File, and then it will bring me again to where I last uploaded files from, which is good for this because I don't have to look for it. And this time, instead of looking for my PowerPoint, I'm going to look for that Adobe Acrobat sign. And I'm going to click that and choose Open. And then it's going to give me the same prompt, and I'm going to continue. And it is going to upload. And now that flash on my screen tells me it's uploaded. So you can see here it's uploaded as a PDF and as a ClassFlow lesson. So when I click on that PDF and I deliver it, you can see again what happens. It's only the first card. I can't go through it. So again, I am going to take that PDF and I'm going to click my trash can and I'm going to get rid of it because I'm not going to use that. I go back to now my skip counting lesson, and you can see here on my cover card that I'm going to have to go in and edit it. I'm again going to go through, these come in again as pictures, and just very quickly, I'm going to make them large enough, and then I'm going to anchor all components on that card. And then I can deliver it the same way to the students as I just showed you in the previous part. So tomorrow is Feature Friday. Can't wait to see you for that. I'm going to be looking at some widgets for Feature Friday, so that'll be a good one to watch. Thanks for coming and hearing my thoughts on Thursday, and I hope to see you for my next video. Continue working with ClassFlow and using the Promethean power. Remember, ClassFlow is a free cloud-based lesson delivery system that you can use in the remote, hybrid, or in-person learning situation. So Promethean power is something you really want to tap into, and it will transform your teaching with the technology. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon.